All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time today to join me for benefits of a construction-specific payroll service. My name is Alex Gray. I will be the presenter for the webinar here today. It seems that we still have some people that are filing into the webinar here right now, so we'll give them a moment here, and we'll go ahead and get things started here in a moment, let everyone get settled in. But thanks again for taking the time to join me here today, and we'll be started here in a moment. All right, looks like everyone's getting settled in here, so we'll go ahead and get started here today. Again, my name is Alex Gray, going to be the presenter here for today's webinar. Those that are in the audience here today, you'll notice that you are in a listen-only mode, but there is a questions box available as an audience member, so feel free as I go through the presentation here today, throw those questions here at the box. And once we get to the end, we'll have a little Q&A session. I'll be able to answer any questions that anyone may have in the audience here today. But go ahead and get started here. So benefits of a construction-specific payroll service presented by Payroll for Construction here today. Again, my name is Alex Gray here. I'm one of the regional sales managers at Payroll for Construction. My contact information is here. So anyone that's listening here today, any questions that pop up, again, feel free to throw them in the chat. But if you have anything else in depth, you want to set up a one-on-one demonstration to go over the service in more detail, talk about your specific needs for your business, my contact information is here. So feel free to reach out anytime. I'll pull this up again here at the end of the demonstration for those that are in the audience. But all right, we'll jump right into it. So meet payrollforconstruction.com. Who are we? We're an online payroll service provider, but we're just for the construction industry, only working with construction clients. Currently have clients in all 50 states, have that payroll processing ability in all 50 states there. Going to be just like your ADP, just like your paychecks. We're going to be able to pay your employees via checks or direct deposits. Going to be able to handle those weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual taxes, year-end W-2s. Then with the tax handlings that we offer, federal, state, local authorities, FUTA and SUTA, just like your normal payroll service provider, Payroll for Construction is going to be able to cover the basic payroll processing needs. What makes us different from providers out there like ADP, like Paychecks, is we're powered by foundation software with over 35 years of experience in the construction industry. So Payroll for Construction is powered behind the scenes by foundation software, which is a full job cost ERP accounting software. But back in 2006, we realized that, hey, not everyone needs the full package of the accounting system. What are they really struggling with? And what do we do well in that accounting software the best? That payroll module there is one of our strong suits with that accounting package. So what we did is we pulled out portions of the general ledger, the job costing, that payroll module, and created today what is known as Payroll for Construction. What makes us different from those payroll service providers out there that aren't focused on the construction industry is, along with the normal payroll processing, we're going to be able to automate your reports like job costing, those that have certified payroll reports, whether we're doing print version, uploading online, or we also need EEO, minority compliance reporting. Maybe we're a union contractor who needs to track all those union deductions and fringes. Our system is going to be able to handle, again, those normal payroll processing needs, but we're going to be able to automate those reports that come when it comes to construction payroll. Very crucial to get that full breakdown of what's actually going on when it comes to payroll, going hand in hand with the number of reports that is required for the industry there. And so what we do, that construction specific payroll, staying on the same topic there. So my contractors that are working in multiple states, multiple localities, in the construction industry, we know jobs can pop up in any state. And for those working in states like Ohio, like Kentucky, can have multiple localities that we may be working across of in that week, in that day, for our employees in these jobs to be able to stay competitive, to bid on these jobs. You're going to be able to have a system that's going to be able to handle the tracking of multiple state tax jurisdictions, those that are working in multiple localities like in Ohio and Kentucky, when a guy can drive from one job to another, cover different cities, and have two different or maybe even more jurisdictions he's working that we need to track for those taxes. Our system is going to be able to track those working in multiple states, those working in multiple localities. And then also my non-union contractors that are working prevailing wage jobs, going to be able to automate the pay rates for those prevailing wage jobs. The system's going to be able to tell the difference. Hey, is this a private commercial job? Or hey, is this a prevailing wage job or a Davis-Bacon job that I need to pay my guys above scale per that prevailing wage contract, what they need to be paid for that work they're performing on the job for us in that day? The system's going to be able to tell the difference, pull in those automatic pay rates for us so we're not going through manually assigning those pay rates to our employees. Going to be able to do the same for those that, again, staying on those prevailing wage of jobs. You're going to have a fringe calculation. Maybe we're paying a fringe to the employees via cash, or, we're just having that fringe be tracked as some sort of fringe benefit group. System's going to be able to automatically calculate these fringes on a job-by-job basis, what these guys are doing on the jobs for us. And they can also even provide us with that prevailing wage fringe reduction factor, those contractors that are already providing these benefits to those employees, and we don't want to overpay on that prevailing wage fringe that we're providing there, so can even set up a prevailing wage fringe reduction inside the system, have that automatically tracked for us as we're running payroll through the system against our number of jobs. Last bullet point here, as well, a big portion of that construction industry payroll is that workers' compensation. Going to be able to set up that workers' compensation policy, have this broken out by the different types of work that's being performed, have those all broken out by classes, and then also in our system can even set up caps to say, hey, once my guy hits that 40 hours of work in the week, we want to cut off what's exposed to that workers' compensation policy. And again, as this policy is set up and we're running payroll, system's going to automatically track where we stand against that workers' compensation policy and have a nice report that is generated for us when it comes time to review where we stand, or if we're going through some sort of audit at our company. Second slide here. So then with that construction payroll, again, on top of that payroll processing services we're providing here, we're going to have construction specific reporting that other payroll service providers may say that they're providing out there, but with us, these are going to be built directly into your payroll for construction database. Those that need certified payroll reports, whether it's we're working with the electronic upload like the California DIR, the LCP tracker, or states like Maryland that provide those electronic uploads, we're going to be able to create the upload file inside our database. No jumping into external portals where you may see those payroll providers say they can handle those certified reports for you, but there's another company you're calling to handle those certified reports, or there's an external portal you're jumping to separate from your payroll system. The electronic file uploads, the certified payroll prints have over 40 different print formats as well inside the system that our team's staying up to date with, is all occurring inside your payroll database. No external portals we're jumping to. That construction specific reporting, those certified, are going to be created for you and tracked inside your payroll database. Then also going to be the same with those EEO minority compliance reports. Will be automatically generated for you inside the system as we're running that payroll. Have also the number of different formats that are required for those EEO minority compliance reports. And then when it comes to reports like job labor, burden cost reports, with that payroll, we may be saying, hey, we're paying our employees $15 an hour, but once we bring in that burden, that FICA, that FUTA, that SUTA, workers' comp, all of that burden is going to be calculated into our employees' pay, and they're more so going to be costing us upwards of $25 an hour, et cetera, with all of that burden once we bring those calculations into play. Going to be reports, again, that are automatically tracked and generated in the system for you to then show us where we stand with those job, labor, and burden costs, giving us that more detailed breakdown when it comes to that job costing of what our construction payroll is actually costing us at the company. And also that workers' compensation could have a nice report that can be broken out by class, broken out by earn code inside the system, tracking where you stand against that workers' compensation policy that has been set up inside the database. Going to be the same for those that have a healthcare or retirement deductions to vendors. The 401k, going to be able to track those miscellaneous deductions on our employee records, have those automatically deducted from the paycheck for us, then have reports we can run to see where we stand with that 401k policy. Then also my union contractors out there, I'm going to be able to set up that union information, what we're paying our guys for their trade. Also then those union deductions and fringes that are going on per that union contract, going to be able to have our team set up that union contract, what's going on inside the database for you. Then as we're running that payroll through the system, going to track all union fringe deduction information, then again, have a nice report for us to see where we can stand union fringe and deduction wise, can even be broken out for my contractors that are working across multiple unions at their company. And then also those that have employees with child support or any other court-ordered garnishments like alimony, back pay, tax garnishments, going to be able to also set up those miscellaneous deductions on the employee's record, then have reports again to show us where we stand with those garnishments inside of our system. And the third item here, again, at our core, we're still going to be your traditional payroll service provider. So going to be able to pay those employees via check or direct deposit. They're going to handle those tax filings and payments, can handle federal, state, local authorities with those with city taxes, FUTA and SUTA. Going to be able to handle those weekly, monthly, quarterlies, annualies, the quarterly and annual returns, and then as well as W-2s, and if anyone needed any ACA assistance at year end there as well. Going to still have those traditional payroll service items at our company on top of the construction specific reporting that's really providing you the benefits of using Payroll for Construction as your payroll provider. Then what else makes us different from other payroll service providers out there? We're going to have a direct integration with QuickBooks and other accounting programs. So whatever you're using at your company, you don't need to be on our main flagship foundation product to use the payroll service. You'll be able to log in to our online web-based access for your Payroll for Construction database, can process payroll anytime from anywhere with an internet connection. Then after that payroll is processed, our team has an integration tool that can then push that payroll data back into your accounting system so we can keep all of that data in one nice spot for us so we can still see all of our profit and loss broken out by jobs or job costing in that main system that we're using for accounting at our company. Again, our only focus here is construction. We're going to have a staff of professionals that are only dealing with construction clients, only dealing with construction payroll on a daily basis. We're staying up to date with the latest tax requirements, with those certified reports, if any formats are changing. We're only focusing on the construction industry, so anything that you may need assistance-wise with your payroll database, our team's going to be available for you to help. Our support team is our staff, only trained in our system. They're our team in-house. And they're only working with the Payroll for Construction database and construction clients, and they're available to you free of charge as a Payroll for Construction user. Then also, we're going to be able to manually enter time into your Payroll for Construction database. We're also do have a mobile application for field time card entry here. We're not going to cover that here today, but if anyone wants to get a live one-on-one demonstration, could go into our mobile time card application that syncs directly with that Payroll for Construction database. But also, if you tell me, hey, we're already using a mobile product at our company here. Our guys are really familiar with that product. We do have a time card import feature where you don't have to be using our mobile application to be able to bring time into your Payroll for Construction database. Our team can set up a file format to easily import that time when we need to enter our hours for our payroll runs in that week. Then last bullet point here, we do also offer an online stub portal for those employees to receive their pay stubs electronically after that payroll is processed. Stubs will flow seamlessly into that payroll portal there. So again, not going to cover that here today, but if anyone wanted to take a look in a one-on-one demonstration, please feel free to reach out. Happy to walk you through the mobile application as well as our online stub portal there. But how a payroll is processed inside of our system. You're just simply log in online. Again, we're going to have that web-based access anytime, with anywhere with an internet connection. Going to be able to log into that database to run your payroll or simply view payroll reports if needed. You're then going to enter or import those time cards into your Payroll for Construction database. Then you're going to be able to review those time card entries as well as the payroll calculations, see what the checks are going to be down to the penny, as well as those direct deposits before our team ever touches that payroll for processing. Going to give you the reports to get that full feedback of what's going on with the payroll run. Then once everything looks good to go, simply click Submit Payroll with the click of a button. Our team handles the rest. You could walk away. Those employees are going to be paid that week. And then essentially all those payroll taxes would be handled by our team here at Payroll for Construction. So what I'll do here now is I'm going to go ahead and jump into the payroll database here. All right, so what you are now seeing here is the home dashboard for Payroll for Construction. Again, we are powered by Foundation Software, a job cost ERP accounting system. So like when you log into maybe your ADP or your Paychecks, you're not going to see that branding of Payroll for Construction in the top right corner. You're going to see Foundation Software because, again, you're accessing that ERP accounting software, but you're only using us for payroll here, that job costing, that payroll module, parts of the general ledger. You're still getting the full power of the job cost ERP accounting system, but you're using that payroll in that job cost portion. Then again, this is something, if you were to move forward, our team's going to get a trainer assigned with you. We're going to get this database built to house the information you need to successfully run payroll for your team. But then what's going to see, you'll see traditional items inside of our system that, look similar to other payroll providers out there. But what really sets us apart is you'll start seeing construction language specific to the construction industry that you're not going to see in other payroll service providers out there. In our system, we're going to be able to set up those employees. We're going to become the system of record for your employees. We have an import file where we can bring in a large number of employee data at once. So my contractors that have, 50, 75, 100 employees, maybe even more, can bring in a large number of employee data at once. We have data extraction specialists that can pull that data outside of your previous payroll system you were using and import it in. So we're not manually setting up your entire database. Then also be able to set up that workers' compensation policy, have this broken out by the types of work that's being performed, set up caps for those specific classes that are being tracked. Then also, again, have that nice report that's generated for us after we then process that payroll in the system. But what really makes us different here is those that my contractors that have union prevailing wage work, or you're working in multiple states, working in multiple localities, where our system's going to allow us to control information on the job level, what's going on a job by job basis. So let's say, hey, I got a prevailing wage job, or I'm working with a union here at the company. We're going to have pay rate tables behind the scenes that separate from maybe our employee's private commercial rate or what he's actually doing for us on that job. Going to be able to have the system look at those pay rates and determine what pay rate needs to be pulled in for that employee based on what work he was doing on that job in that day. So no matter if you're working with a union like my local 38, can set up my different trades with those different pay rates. Going to be the same for those working that prevailing wage jobs. Hey, per that government contract, that prevailing wage job contract, what do I need to pay my employees above scale here based on the work being performed, what that pay rate is. Can take this table, then have it tied directly to the job. So then once we bring the hours into the system, we're not going through manually assigning our own pay rates. The system's going to be able to do it for us. And this is also going to be the same with those deductions and fringes that are going on with these prevailing wage jobs or that union that we're working with here. So those that have that prevailing wage job, you have that prevailing wage cash fringe that's going to that employee or maybe going off to some sort of fringe benefit group, going to be able to track that prevailing wage cash fringe. Hey, how does it need to be calculated? What rate does it need to be calculated at? How does it need to be taxed? Going to be the same for my unions here as well. Have those union deductions and fringes set up, anything that's going on for that union contract. You can even send these union contracts off to our team here, and we can set these up inside the database for you. Those that are working with unions here, our team's very good at reading what's going on for that union contract and can even timestamp those pay rates and our deductions and fringes with an effective date. So if our union's saying, hey, we're going to have a pay rate coming on maybe December 1st later this year, every rate is going up by $1, our team can get that set up inside the database for you. Then as we're running payroll, if our deductions or fringes, our pay rates are changing in the middle of a payroll period, the system's going to be able to refer to the new list of rates as well as deductions and fringes for us automatically. We don't have to have someone tracking this information for us. The system's going to do it for us. Then we'll even timestamp this on our employees' pay stubs. All right, so then also with the database, then some basic job information would need to be set up inside your Payroll for Construction database. Give us a basic job name, number, description. Then we're able to tie those pay rates into those jobs. Then as we're running payroll through the system, going to be able to automatically assign the pay rates, whether we're working with a prevailing wage job, whether we're working with a union on our job, or whether this is just a private commercial rate that my employee is supposed to get his said $15 an hour. The system's going to be able to tell us the difference of what's going on for those jobs. Then after we then have our job set up, our database is good to go, time for us to start entering time. In the system here, can manually enter our hours, again, can import in from other payroll app, mobile application that we're working with out there, or if you were using our mobile time card application, bring those hours into the system. Then with that time, then after the time is brought in here, go ahead and use the time card list proofing reports, or the number of reports we have available to review those hours, what's going on inside the database here. With our reports, you have a number of ways that we can then allow time to be reviewed here. So if we wanted to say, hey, I want to review my hours simply by employee here, can then run my time card list proofing report to then see all of my hours that have been entered for this pay period broken out here. Have Alan, Arthur, Rick, all broken out with the jobs that they were working across, giving me my employee subtotal hours here. We can also have miscellaneous reimbursements. So if we have a fuel reimbursement, a per diem we're given to employees, can also pay those to the employees in the time card here. And then this proofing report is going to give us all of our information broken out here. Then looking at the report, you can see that I have multiple pay rates for my one employee on a single time card for the hours that are entered in this week. That can also tell me, hey, prevailing wage job, then of those that are working across multiple states, multiple localities, going to show us those taxing groups that are being brought into for our employees here, multiple cities, states, jobs, rates, all on one time card. System's going to be able to handle it for you, no problem. Then also, even though I'm saying that this report can be ran multiple ways, just to show you, hey, we don't like to see the employee subtotals. I want to see my information broken out by job this week. Simply switch the criteria format of that report very easily. We can set up custom defaults for users on specific reports inside the system if there's a specific way it needs to be formatted for users here. Then I have that same report now broken out by job, showing me all of my hours broken out, giving me my job subtotals. Then if we also needed to pull these outside the database to send off for review, PDF, Word, Excel, CSV, very easy to pull reports outside of your Payroll for Construction database. All right, so then also going to have a number of pre-check registers for you to review what's going on with the payroll calculations before we touch that payroll for processing. What do we have for earnings? What's hitting workers' compensation this week? Do we have an employee who's not reviewing a pay stub? Big one, going to be the pre-check register. Go ahead and run this report. Will then show me all of my employees that are receiving a check or direct deposit in that week, all of their hours, earnings, all those deductions, all being brought in on one screen, showing us our net pay down to the penny, again, before our teams ever touched your payroll for payroll processing. Then after that payroll looks good to go, simply click Submit Payroll. Going to send that payroll off to our team for processing. We have that payroll processed within the hour, give you a full report breakdown, total amount, the checks to direct deposits, with the liability that was handled by our team here. And then you don't have to worry about anything else. The data flows seamlessly to those reports inside the system. Then all that information is then available for you to run those construction specific reports available inside our database here. So after payroll looks good to go, jump into that payroll report section here. Then going to have a number of reports available for you to review what's going on with payroll at our company. Going to have that workers' compensation report here. This can be ran by class or can even be broken down further into earn codes to then get a more in-depth breakdown of where we stand with that workers' compensation policy here. So you have all my classes broken out, give me my hours worked, gross earnings, earnings exposure, that premium. Then if you said, hey, this report's nice and all, but we're going through an audit, we need a more in-depth breakdown here. You can have a number of formats available for these reports here. Can even drill down by employee under those class totals, see what's going on an earn code by earn code basis here. Then give us nice subtotals here at the bottom of where we stand with that workers' compensation policy. And again, PDF, Word, Excel, CSV can pull these reports outside the database if we needed to send them off to a user that didn't have access. Also going to be able to handle those EEO minority compliance reporting. It's going to have electronic upload formats where it'll create the file for you. Also have multiple print formats inside the database here. Employee earnings and deductions reports, employee wage detail history are the other big ones here, especially for the construction industry, is those that are needing certified payroll here. So those that are working with those online upload providers like the LCP tracker, the California DIR here, maybe even the Astroware. Going to be able to have those file uploads created for you by the database, all happening inside one system. We're not jumping to an external company for our certified reports here. It's all happening inside your database here. I'll show you the specific example of the LCP tracker here. So select the format that you need. Go ahead and enter that date range of when we need our certified, control where we want it to be saved on our computer. Go ahead and click report here. The system will then generate that certified upload for us here. And this report may look like a jumbled information here, but this is because it's creating the LCP tracker or the certified electronic upload for you here. When I click close, I'm going to say that file has not been created now. Click yes, save that file to your desktop, log into the LCP tracker, whatever portal we're using, then be able to then upload that file into the online certified portal for you. The work's been done for you, no manually creating these by hand. Going to be the same for those that aren't using the electronic. You're going to have that certified payroll print. So we have multiple electronic formats as well as over 40 different print formats for those certified reports inside the system. So those that have the different city formats, different state formats for those certifieds. Just to scroll through the list here to show you some of that we have broken out here. Again, you'll see some that say revised. Our team is staying up to date with the standards of these certified report formats. This isn't something that you need to manage yourself. Our team's doing these free of charge for you as a payroll for construction client. And I'll just show you here generic WH347 certified report. Put in that date range, run that certified report, can even complete no work performed certifieds for us here. As I scroll through, we'll have that certified report broken out for us. There's a spot for it on the certified. There's a spot for it inside our payroll database for you here. Then I'll even scroll to the bottom here to show you that we'll also be able to generate those signature pages for you. So once you're ready to go, run that certified here. Everything looks good to go. PDF, pull this outside the database, sign, send it off where it needs to go. Again, a number of reports available for you inside the Payroll for Construction database. Another big one that I had mentioned, hey, with construction payroll or payroll in general, once we bring in that burden into play, our employees are going to start costing us more when it comes to those payrolls here. So going to have reports that bring in those burden calculations for us by right away. Can control what burden we want to see, what's going to be on said report here. Once I run this report here, it's going to give me all my employees here broken out, show us those jobs that they had hours logged under into this period, show us our basic hours and earnings here. But hey, we also then have that burden brought in, FICA, FUTA, SUTA, workers' comp, what's all going on inside the database, what's actually going into the total overall cost for our employees will be brought into this report for us. then give us our pay down to the penny for these employees, so then we can see that average hourly rate to get that more detailed job costing inside our payroll database. Then the last report I'll touch on here today, my contractors that are working union work, we're working with multiple unions or maybe even just one union here. Again, we're going to be able to set up that union information here as we're running that payroll through the system, going to automatically track those union deductions and fringes that we have going on per that union contract. Then be able to run our union summary report here, then see where we stand with all of our union deductions and fringes here. Top page will show us all of our employees, what their earn types were, what their hours worked were, what their gross wages were, then also with those deductions and fringes. Then, as I go to the next page here, will give us a nice summary of where we stand, what the total amount of deductions and fringes were, then ultimately what the bottom line is of the total amount that we need to cut for that check to then pay the union at month end. But again, those working with multiple unions here, I have my local 6, my local 38, multiple unions, multiple states, multiple localities, whatever's going on with that payroll for your construction company, Payroll for Construction will be able to handle inside the database for you. All right, so what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and then open it up for questions here today. So I'll put my information back on the screen here. So if you can't think of anything here during the demonstration here today or the webinar here, and you want to set up a live one-on-one conversation, or you simply just have a quick question you'd like to get answered, feel free to shoot me an email here. We hold live on one-on-one demonstrations over the Zoom platform, or I'd be happy to answer any miscellaneous questions that any of our attendees may have out there. But looking into the questions here, can imported time still be changed manually if needed? Yes. So no matter if you're manually entering time or if you're just entering time from our mobile application or another mobile application out there, once that time's brought into the database, we aren't locked down to how those hours have been entered. We can still make changes to hours once they've been entered into the database. So if you were running that time card list proofing report that I had shown there, if you caught an hour that was entered incorrectly after the import, you can still make manual updates to the time inside that database after it's been imported in. I see another one we have here. If I need to cut a check in the middle of a payroll cycle, will I still be able to? Yes. Inside the Payroll for Construction database, even though we're handling those checks and direct deposits for you, you'll still, as a user, be able to cut a check at any point in time outside the database that happens in the middle of a payroll run. We'll have an off cycle that will allow you to enter that paycheck information for that employee, can cut that pay stub outside of the database, pay that employee even though we're in the middle of a payroll run. Then the next time Payroll for Construction process that payroll, our team will pick up all the tax information for you, make sure everything is still up to date, even though we had that off-cycle check that was cut in the middle of that week's payroll period. All right, we'll leave it open here for any other questions anyone in the audience that may have. Got another one here. Can reimbursements be entered? Yes. Reimbursements can be entered directly on those employees' time cards there. Our team would be able to then set up an earn code for you that's non-taxable for those reimbursements. And then with any reimbursement that we may have, can give it that custom language that you may need for your team so you know what's going on. So if we have a fuel reimbursement, a per diem here, or a mileage reimbursement, could set up any reimbursements that we may need. And then can also then enter those reimbursements, have them paid back to the employee in that time card. All right, we'll give it a couple more seconds for any other questions that we may have in the audience here today. All right, looks like we got everyone's questions answered here today. So again, my name is Alex Gray here, one of the regional sales managers at Payroll for Construction. Any questions, or if anyone's interested in setting up a live one-on-one demonstration, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to set up that conversation with you here. But again, want to thank everyone in the audience for taking the time to join us here today. If anything pops up, please don't hesitate to reach out. Happy to help here. But thanks again, everyone. Hope everyone has a great rest of their afternoon or morning, wherever you're located here.